Hiya folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. And when last we left off, we continue to explore Stalwart village, a place that has fallen under hard times for many reasons. We finished talking to a hunter that wants us to deal with an incredibly vicious wolf that is out to the west in the russet wood. We also have another quest there where we have to track down someone who is hunting an escaped slave.
I'd be glad to.
There's more of this place still to explore before we go out into the russet wood. And before we do that, we're going to want to talk to Redingild, the person that we're here to see concerning Durgan's battery and likely the ogres. There is a wagon here, but before we go and speak with them, we have two places to check out, starting with the
That's
fishery.
what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere.
Who is speaking here? I'll fight it without your help. Not giving up, you hear me? So we have you charlatans.
Yes?
Hello? A dwarf paces with his head down and arms crossed, only stopping to hurl glances at the building behind him. His face is smeared black with grime, and soot falls from his beard as he mumbles to himself. Work my hands into bloody stumps in this place, and for what? He kicks at a mound of dirty snow. Start with nothing, leave with less. He extends his arms out. Who are you yelling at? At idiots, that's who, and I'm as much to blame for believing them. The dwarf wrinkles his nose, nostrils flaring like a horse. Well, good riddance. Should have never settled here in the first place. Some things you mean to leave behind. Come to find out you packed them anyway. But I'm not leaving until I recover what's mine. They can't deny me again. Not after this. Orlan gestures at the burnt-out buildings. Those sweet-tongued priests took my heirlooms. Bury the memory of my past, they said. Now I don't have even that. The memories of your past? Long time ago, that was. Different life. I'll spare you the sob story. Talking about it's done me no favours. Nor time, nor distance. Nor them charlatans in there. He spits. Those priests, Ondra's dogs, said the goddess would forgive, that some things are best left to be forgotten. He nods towards the nearby temple. Their leader laughed her. I believed her words. Another one of them, a gift-bearer, took my medallion. He closed his stocky hand into a fist. And now they won't tell me where it is. Why won't they tell you? Because they think they know better, that's why. Said it was the only way I'd forget. What did you want to forget about your past? It's my burden to bear, not yours. I thought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were all the wrong ones. What else did you give the priests? Dwarf casts a measuring look at you. He quickly turns his head away and nods. You'd understand its value. My armour. A set finer than I've ever seen. But worthless to an old dwarf. I'd have traded it for my medallion, but fool that I was, I gave them both. Maybe there's something I can do. Not the kind of talk that I've grown used to over these last years, I'll admit. The priests may pretend otherwise, but folks here tend to look only after themselves. I'll be surprised if they return it willingly. They believe it's a sacred duty to cast the offerings to the goddess in some place where they'll be forgotten. Better to find where they drop them, I think. What's Laughter's role in all this? She leads the group of crows. They took over the temple as folks started to leave. Came to unburden those that sought to forget their misery here, they say. Tell me about the medallion you want me to recover. It belonged to my sister. It was just a pretty trinket to her. To me. The dwarf casts his gaze down. She was the last of my family. At least it still acted like family to me. I want to know about your past before you settled here. It's my burden to bear, not yours. Thought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were the wrong ones. If I can help with anything, just ask. Well, I'll give it a go. Goodbye. I don't expect luck to grace me now, but if you find anything, I'll be here. Count on it. Gives you a vigorous nod. Right,
I'm here.
we're going in. We're going to see if we can help out. How are we going to figure out where those things are buried? maybe the person we speak to in here will give us a clue. So, we have Shieldsman and Laughter.
At once.
There's also a swordsman here. And Quizettle.
I'm here.
Speak with Quizettle first. Actually, no, speak with you first. Veins course under this woman's pale skin like icy fissures, yet when she speaks, her voice flows warmth and soothing. Ondra welcomes you into her embrace. Her features soften with a look of practiced compassion. We are here to ease the pain of your past, ready to take your burdens. With a thin smile she nods. If you let the goddess help you with your hardships, of course. I want to ask you about Ocran's heirloom. The dwarf already asked. We gave him the counsel he needed. Slight irritation sharpens her tone. She seems to catch herself, modulating her voice back to a pleasant timbre. And naturally, we'll do what we can for you too. Ask what you will. I just did. Ocran wants his medallion back. She brings her hands together and nods. Ah, Ocran. How often we let the shadows of the past become a burden even to others. That medallion, it weighs on Ocran's mind. You're kind to help, but what he really needs is to cast away those memories. Isn't that for him to decide? He did. He understood the solace that the goddess can give to those like him. It was explained to him that many have second thoughts when one does not withdraw something offered to a goddess. In time the memories fade, and they come to see the wisdom of their original pledge. His belongings, his past, now rest in Ondra's realm, to be forgotten so that the wounds of the soul may heal. This is the will of the goddess. I wonder what the village's leader would have to say about that. You think we don't act in accordance with local customs? The village knows we're here to help the unfortunate like Ocran. They trust us. What if Ocran had moved on? Would you tell me where his heirloom was then? He hasn't. And that's the point. Laughter crosses arms. Besides, you have no authority here. I can keep asking for a long time. A flash of colour invades the priestess's pale skin. I see there is no dissuading you. You seem... She glances over you. A person of will. Very well. Laughter's irritation seems to subside as fast as it rose, but you notice a lingering sense of alarm in the glances that the acolytes exchange after her outburst. Ocran's heirloom was taken by Ixley, chosen gift-bearer among us, to be cast away as an offering to Ondra. Only he knows where. She pauses and looks at you intently. You could ask him yourself, but he's on a trek through the mountains of Durgan's Battery. If you run into Ixley, tell him he has urgent duties to attend here. Tell me about your gift-bearer. Ixley had business near Durgan's Battery. Those mountains are dangerous. Laughter seems to stare at the floor for a moment, but you notice her eyes dart to one of the acolytes. A young man of Ixamital blood. If you insist upon carrying out this request for Ocran's, that's where I'd search for answers. It's hard to believe that only the gift-bearer knows where Ondra's offerings are cast away. Is it? Our goddess frees us from our earthly burdens. It's best if only one of us knows where they are taken, lest we all end up suffering under their weight. Tell me about something else. Was there something else you wanted to talk about? I suppose you could tell me about Ondra. Ondra's the goddess of redemption, deep like an ocean and gentle as a mother. She's here to relieve her children of their darkest burdens. We came here to aid the villagers, to heal the wounds of the past that fester in their souls. I thought Ondra was a goddess of love and mourning, not redemption. That's, The priestess crosses her arms and shifts her weight. Common notion. Others may believe so, but the goddess's mysteries are profound. Her true power lies in redeeming your loss and regret. I want to know about the gift-bearers. Gift-bearers do Ondra's most valued work. They carry the material burdens of unfortunate souls into her embrace, but the goddess may help them forget. Farewell, then.
I'm
Right,
here.
we're going to speak with you. A young man dressed in sturdy leathers glares at you. The creases in his face, tanned despite the scarce sunlight in the region, suffer a slight twitch as you approach him. I've got nothing for you. Speak to laughter if you must. He turns away, his nose wrinkled. Leave me be. Okay. You don't like me.
Hey.
Fair enough. There are a lot of guards in here. I'm a little concerned about the vast amount of guards. Now let's go out here and see if the person we're getting the... As you step outside, the heavy wooden door of the temple slams shut behind you. You hear someone barring it from the other side. It sounds like the priests have engaged in an agitated conversation. You get the sense they are discussing you, but you're also certain that the door is too thick to eavesdrop through, although there may be other places nearby where you'd stand a better chance. Can't believe this. How could you?
I'm here.
Is there somewhere over here that we can eavesdrop? No. Not there. Oh, it must be here. The wooden shutters of a temple's window, closed tight, muffle the set of voices coming from within the building. You can't quite make sense of the murmur, but cracking a shutter open would most likely help. A rusty iron latch holds the window shutters closed. With care, you should be able to unfasten it without being noticed. Let's unfasten it. You carefully begin to lift the hatch from its metal hook. Halfway there, the rusted iron resists with a screech. You freeze, listening to the voices in hopes the priest didn't hear. The conversation continues uninterrupted. We'll put some oil on the latch. You grab the latch and apply just the right amount of oil, nudging the metal until its rust gives way without a sound. Carefully, you pull the window shutters open enough to let the voices flow through. You hear a man speaking, his tone agitated. You do that! Hope the mountains will do it? What if Ixi... His sentence cuts, as if the man is speaking to all sides of the room. Suppose she tells them instead. What then? You recognize Laughter's voice responding. Why would she? And with all those dangers near the battery, our gift-bearer won't delay. I expect that... The man interrupts her. You always expect. Look where that's taken us. A dying village. Ogres of the walls. Ixley's not back yet. And now I have to do his His voice drops and seethes, muffling what he has to say. After a moment, Laughter replies, Do you think I wanted this? But I could have known in advance? A pause ensues, its tension growing until the priestess's voice cuts it in half. We can't wait for him. We must fish out the last batch quickly. After that, we'll decide. The man responds in a broken voice, barely audible. You only distinguish the last words. In that rustwood pond, I'll go. Their exchange seems to end. Cautiously, you step away from the window of Ondra's temple. You are not priests.
I'm here.
Find the gift bearer or search the waters in the russet wood. I don't have any news for you yet,
I'm here.
but I will. Oh, now you're here!
I'm
You
here.
weren't here before.
I'm here.
Speak to you in a little bit. Right now I've got some buying and selling to do.
You're quite friendly, aren't you?
The Orlan bows to you. Ah, the adventurer who saved the village. So good of you to visit my humble wagon. I'm Yduran. How's business? He gestures at the village around him. Poor, like this place. Not much coin to be had trading in furs and fish. I came to the White Marsh because I assumed there would be no competition. And I have none, because there's nothing to compete over out here. Would you like to trade? If you're not making any money out here, why do you stay? His eyes lower. I was rather vocal about my inevitable success with my friends and family. If I give up and return with little more than I left, then... No, it won't be like that. I'm not giving up yet. His hands balled into fists. Well, show me what you have for sale. An exceptional hunting bow? Raiment of whale's eyes? That's quite interesting. A monk's outfit, tundra clothing. Ooh, that's interesting. Ultimate hat of alluring perfection. This hat was designed by an apprentice wizard who sought to create the perfect magical accessory. He spent weeks binding spells and wards to the material, but when he finished, he felt that it looked rather plain. He wanted to strike an imposing figure for peers and rivals, so spent a few more days adding embellishments, a crest of feathers behind one ear, a band of silk around the brim. It was an improvement, but it also showed the young wizard how poorly he'd chosen his original colour scheme, so he spent a few more days experimenting with other shades in suede, satin and leather. While the poor young apprentice obsessed over his hat, his peers continued studying spells and hexes. By the time of his first duel, he'd assembled a fantastic wardrobe, but forgotten many of his spells. His performance ended his budding career in magic most ignominiously, but he went on to become a successful tailor. I'm also looking at Rufric's Watchful Cloak Mark III. Ruprick was a bruiser and a follower of Whale. He was often hired as a courier or bodyguard because of his size and strength. Yet he was a quiet man, and he developed a habit of walking with his head bowed in prayer. Because of this, would-be thieves frequently attempted to waylay him, but Ruprick was blessed by the god of secrets. With uncanny foresight, he dodged and parried these sudden attacks and slew his assailants, sewing their eyes into his cloak. He intended it as a warning, but others saw it as a challenge. Eventually he discarded this cloak and wore a simpler, humbler garment in its place. Beside him, a dark cloak with shimmering, shifting eyes became infamous among highwaymen and bandits. Yeah, ooh. +5 accuracy gauntlets, that's pretty neat. Riona's buckle, +5 accuracy with endurance below 50%, +20 against disease and poison attacks. This belt bears the mark of Riona, a legendary adventurer who travelled Aora in search of wealth and fame. When she was young, she trained at a martial academy in Ozia, where she struggled at first. Many of her fellow students came from wealthy local families, but she was poor and foreign. But she was clever, and she practiced much. One day, her chief rival, a nephew of one of the Duke's Bells, challenged her to a duel. Riona could not refuse and save face, so she accepted. When they had assembled in the arena, he offered to give her one piece of his armour before the fight began. He meant it as an insult to her skill, but when Riona asked for his belt, he realised his mistake. He gave her his belt, with his sheathed rapier still attached to it, effectively disarming himself. Riona won the duel by default, and kept the belt as a memento. That's clever. There's a tundra hood here. I feel like we might need these hoods and this clothing. I feel like that's going to be important. This gauntlet of accuracy is also quite fun. +5 accuracy would be pretty neat. For now, though, if I sell some of these suits of fine padded armour, because I have a lot of them. There we go. And this suit of fine leather, this fine robe, this fine mail armour. That as well, that as well. This isn't probably what you were anticipating when it came to business, but I might buy that. Just to have it. Exceptional hunting bow is good, though. That's a really good bow. Your deflection's nice. We'll make this trade for now. What else do you have? You have a pry bar. I'll buy a pry bar. I'll also buy a torch, because I don't have one of those. We'll make that trade. There we go. The accuracy gauntlet. There's someone who could absolutely use that. Because you don't have a gauntlet at all. Take that. +5 accuracy. Right there. Tundra clothing can go here, can go here, can go here, and can go here. Also we have Rimgan's mantle, which is not terrible. 20% freeze damage converted to endurance. We'll put this in here for now. We're all wearing rings. Of course, I have this padded armor that I could have sold, but I'll sell that another time. That can go in here, this can go in there.
I'm here.
And lastly, we have the fishery to check out. We'll go check out the fishery. Then when we return, we will chat with you, and then go to Renning Guild. You look like a companion. You definitely look like a companion. There's a villager there just doing some quiet fishing. Some villagers here doing some quiet fishing. And us about to go in here and talk to people who do quiet fishing. And their quest will be, hunt down the greatest shark in all the lands.
Let's have some skewers while we're here.
Not a bad idea. The tattered net, this tattered net appears to have been set aside for mending. Makes sense. There doesn't appear to be much else, though. The dead eyes of speckleback, iron-toothed pike, and frost-diver fish gaze up at you. These roasting fish provide much of the pungent odour permeating the fishery. Well, I think I will speak to the worker. Fishery's closed for the night. Okay. We'll come back in the morning, then. We'll come back in the morning. But that'll be for next time, folks, as when we come back, we've made some trades. We're uncovering a definite conspiracy with the people that claim to worship Ondra. Yeah, there's something wrong there. I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it when we go to the Russet Wood. But that'll be for next time. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later. Might be a good idea to have the fiery staff out, considering we're in a cold place. At least it's not snowing too much here. Not right now, anyway. Later.